Hey, if you want to see more Winter, did you know that she's a co-star, a sidekick in Atomic Widow's playthrough called Mutant Combat? She goes around with Teresa and punches mutants. What's not to love? Go and watch it. G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Riveter. This is a weapon that has been ported from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 from 2023. It features custom sounds and animations and is able to be crafted on a chemistry workbench. This is yet another high-quality COD port weapon that is based on a real-life firearm called the Omni Hybrid 410. The 410 refers to the gauge of shotgun shell this is firing, because what you're looking at here is basically an AR-15 that is chambered in shotgun shells, which I guess that's where it gets its name from, its Riveter name. I am familiar in the form of riveting. I carry a little pop riveter around me because I'm a roof plumber, and this is not the type of design I use. No, I use the little lobster ones. Trust me when I say the best hand pop riveters are the ones made by Lobster. They are unreal, perfect to get them if you're a roof plumber or work with pop rivets. Oh yeah, this riveter, we're talking about this one. Okay, attachment time. First of all, we've got the receivers like normal. This thing can be scooped up to auto powerful, giving you 172 damage per shot. Keep in mind that damage is spread evenly between all of the projectiles this might be firing. I don't exactly know how much projectiles is going to be firing, but the DPS is pretty good, and all of those projectiles individually will be rolling against whatever armor your enemy has. So you'll find on higher difficulties where you've got a half damage penalty before they even leave your barrel, before they even hit your enemy's armor, that might cause problems in terms of DPS, but we'll see how we go with this thing. We've got a legendary effect provided by legendary modification. Skip over that one, and you can change the ammo type. So you get standard, you get slug shells, which are just your single projectiles, big bullet for stopping power, and gives me better DPS, of course, and better range. That's nice, and accuracy, you'd expect that. Incendiary, a bit of dragon's breath, I suppose, gives you a bunch of Skyrim fire damage, which under normal circumstances in this game isn't resisted by normal armor, so that's some pretty good bonus damage there. And there's also 410 gauge ball, which larger but fewer harder hitting pellets. That's probably going to be slightly better against your armored targets, so that might be worth thinking about. Might make your miss shots or shots that miss, they're a little bit more off target, where less projectiles hit, more punishing to you because you won't be getting as high DPS, but I feel like that might be a little bit better in terms of its overall performance and consistency. And check out the range stat on this thing. Even now with the standard shells, that's 203, so this thing is going to be holding its damage for a little bit further than what you'd see any vanilla game shotgun, which might be to its advantage there, so that's good. We'll experiment with all of these shotgun shells or different rounds, so we'll leave that at standard now, and we'll move on to the next one. Now you get a bunch of COD sites you can put on this thing, all Walmart dollar store looking and named sites here. There's also some scopes down here, hopefully for precision. This is a 4x scope of Russian origins. Lovely, that's always helpful. If we can find something, well, that one looks Russian as well. Let's try to find something a little bit more Western here. The aim point, why not? Next, we've got the magazine again. You have standard 15 round magazine, reduce that to 10 rounds if you want to make the weapon more light. Probably increases your reload speed as well. Or a 30 round magazine, looks like a casket design, but that seems to be the best choice here. And we've immediately moved on to pistol grips, which you can choose between these ones. Looks like a cosmetic thing. There's no actual stats that are being shifted around here, so pick what you will there. I don't think that's going to be too yeah, it's all cosmetic, so not really that important to the weapon's performance. Next, we've got the barrels. We've got a standard barrel on right now. You can have a longer barrel. This 20-inch barrel gives me 287 range, which is a lot higher than what you'd get out of a range of pretty much any rifle in the vanilla game, so that's interesting. You've also got an option for a short barrel there for a compact approach. That's pretty cool. And there's also an integral suppressed barrel here if you don't want to use the muzzle slot to put a suppressor on, but that range stat is so good, so we'll throw that one on. And a tactical is just something you throw on the front here. It's laser sight. You can have green, red. There's also options for, looks like, flashlights, this one, of course. There's also options for blue laser sight. So we'll throw on the Stovall DR laser box, which and your like lower rail, you can put on a little foregrip, angled grip, stubby grip, you name it, it's there. Let's go for a big fat Merc foregrip on that one. And we'll move over to the muzzle. Now, you're going to have a choke on this thing, an improved choke. I wonder if that'll reduce the spread. It might, you know. Some of these COD sourced descriptions might not fit well with what the weapon does. Like this one increases damage range when it doesn't, because it doesn't increase the range stat. So yeah, a little bit of I guess that's just flavor, so don't pay too much attention to that. Pay more attention to the numbers over here, of course. Now, I'm going to throw on a gigantic suppressor on this thing, and it doesn't reduce my range stat, which is some pretty good news. So this thing's shaping up to be fairly good, at least on paper, in my head. But yeah, that's all right. And we've got a stock option as well, which pick what you want. There's even a buffer tube here for no stocks at all. Interesting. Let's go for that one. Demo Precision Elite Factory. I've seen that stock before. I recognize it by name even. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. We've also got an extraneous damage slider to boost this thing's damage a little bit more if you feel like you're wanting to make it to do slightly more damage. And I believe that's pretty much it out of this thing. So we'll make a couple more and fulfill different sort of roles with them and different ammunition types, and we'll see how we go. On your chemistry workbench, you can find weapon Riveter. Within that subfolder, you can build the Riveter itself. It's going to require you some materials, not too much, but a combat shotgun and all of these different rounds, which require 10 lead and 10 steel. You get 10 rounds per exchange. So yeah, it's actually pretty decent in terms of its efficiency. So yeah, happy hunting. Welcome back to the Immersive Gunners Plaza. Here is our Riveter in first person. Your reload animation like that. Notice the slap there when we reload. It looks like I'm missing a tactical reload patch, but we can live without it. I like the slap on the ARs anyway. So looking down the sights in first person, that's what it looks like. Pretty cool. Not much in the way of zooming in on this sight, but that's fine. But that laser sight looks to be completely pinpoint to where I'm actually aiming. In third person, it's fine. That must be auto beam. That's a mod that I installed ages ago but barely ever think about. But check out the spread on this thing. This thing has to absolutely be choked down like a rifle because there is absolutely zero spread to speak of. Even when I'm hip firing, you might be able to see it with the sparks, but the deviation of the spread on this thing is going to be so little that I'm basically going to be using it as like a scattershot rifle, I suppose. Here's the second one that I made. This one's firing the 410 gauge slugs. It's got that 4-time scope of Russian origin that we saw a little bit earlier. But yeah, since this thing's fully automatic, we won't be able to get the sniper knockdowns, which is a shame. And if I hold down the trigger, half of my magazine, I'm looking directly into the sky. So in a way, this weapon doubles as a telescope. You can observe the stars on a nice starry night, which is most of them because, you know, on account of everything being nuked, there's not much light pollution around here. So isn't that nice? Next, we've got Super Mega Ultra Close Quarters spec with buffer tube stock at the short barrel. You can't see it, but there's a hand stop under there just in case Winter wants to like blow off her fingers or something during automatic fire. But I'm suspecting the recoil on this thing is going to be... No, it's actually tame for what it is. I thought it'd be worse, but it's actually super tame. There's a little bit more spread on this thing, but honestly, if you aim down sights of this thing, I'm sure that the spread will be minimal. And lastly, we've got Dragon's Breath here. This one has just basically standard attachments on it. I've kept the iron sights on just in case you wanted to see some iron sights. It's like a big thing in COD to use iron sights all the time because reasons. I suppose they just like it. Sure, whatever. I can accept that. Anyways, let's begin. And so far, we've got a few gunners. We'll shoot them a little bit like this. We could use VAFs to zero in on, say, the head or something, and that might make my job easier. Must be a little bit of spread that I'm not quite privy to here, so it looks like headshots off the menu a little bit. There we go. Try to roll a Grim Reaper sprint. Didn't get it, unfortunately. Maybe keep that turret alive. As these idiots get closer, we should be able to deal increased damage to them. And at this stage, I'm hitting them consistently for... There's a headshot. For about 580 to 600, depending on what I'm doing to them. I'm getting sneak criticals for sure, but I feel like I would have been getting a little bit more than what we're getting at the moment. Like even at this range, I'm still hitting him for about 580, which is crazy. I don't know, maybe there's a little bit of a range thing that is not reflected on the weapon card. Anyways, so auto slugs. Oh my god, I'm stormtroopering here. It's the recoil, I can blame the recoil. Anyways, let's use this thing like this. Now, ooh, nice. That was a bloody mess chain kill there. Pretty good. I mean, it's not too bad. As expected, they are tanking it up a little bit just because they're able to soak up so much of this thing's damage, but I don't think the DPS on this thing is anything to be super worried about. The fact that we can hit them from this far back this hard, my aim's all over the place. I can't have perfect aim all the time, I'm sorry. I'll try to get better as the video goes on here. Should have done a little bit of a warm-up, I suppose. I think this weapon's power can sort of carry me and my terrible aim across the line anyway, but let's try to do this a little bit smarter. Add some criticals to the mix. Gets rid of that pesky damage reduction that they get from their armor and whatnot. And since it's an automatic, I believe it's the entire burst the critical lasts for. That's what it would be in regular VATs. Maybe not so much on here. If I hold down the trigger, maybe. Totally whiffed all of that. Oh look, Tactical showed up today. Let's try to keep him alive. This will be a little escort mission. I'm gonna have to ask you to clear my line of fire because friendly fire is on, friend. Here's another good thing about this particular shotgun is that since it's got such a high range stat, it's going to make it very strong over a medium range in VATs, which, believe you me, means that we can get criticals rolling and doing a whole shit ton of damage. Let's go over to super mega ultra close quarters here. Hope you can hear me over this thing firing because it is quite loud in my ear. I think I cranked the volume up a little bit too much, at least on these headphones, but it's immersive going half deaf from shooting guns, so I'll let it slide. It'd be helpful if you held still. Oh look, those guys are still down there. Let's get a bit of gun feel action happening. The weapon, the VATS preview lied to me. I could never trust them again. Okay, let's get some Skyrim fire damage happening in there. The old Herschel and all that. If you know, you know. How about third person aiming? Whoops. That seems to make it slightly more controllable, just in the fact that it's not bouncing around in your face, I suppose. Whoops. A badly timed reload there, but we'll recover because we're able to just pelt to him with incendiary shotgun pellets. Are they throwing Molotovs from inside there and still setting me on fire? Nice one, Todd. Appreciate that one. Right, there's also one person down here. We'll get the drop on him. And now, we can do this classic door breach. We've basically haven't lost like any health at all, so yeah, I think this thing's comfortably crushed everything. Okay, sometimes the incendiary gets a little bit overwhelming. You can't actually see what you're shooting at. Good thing I've got damage numbers to help correct my aim, but yeah, it gets a little silly sometimes, but you know, I think the effect is still cool, despite how unrealistic it might be for those of you, if you're a stickler for those finer, accurate, realistic details, you might find a problem there. Also, if you noticed in the third-person animations, the foregrips and everything have their own separate animations, which is really kind of awesome. But yeah, there you go. So against Gunner's Plaza, the Riveter seems to do a pretty good job. Here's the outfit, by the way. Let's see. I've got Easy Girl boots. There's also Goth Girl fishnet leggings. There's I think that's Don Random outfit 4 for the shorts. Easy Girl gauntlets. Don EBN's clothing pack 6 for that top. That's number 4, I believe, just standard paint. And Vitor Adventurer gloves there. And there's also a goth collar in there made by Obi, I believe. Yes, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, I really want to get this sniping round done real fast, so we'll see how much AP we use up. A lot. But remember, we get a 3-round burst every time we shoot this thing, so... Oh, he's not even ready for me. Well, it's going to have a very bad day. Eat these slugs. Eat slugs. It's not going to backfire on me. My wand isn't broken. Whoops. We got a direct view of the ants there as I was struggling to control the recoil. Oh, I'm detected. Dear oh dear. I guess I'm going to have to, like, shoot you with regular shots now. And as you come ever so closer, I'll get more and more damage as we go along. Let's add some extra criticals to the miss, and nope, you don't get to hit me, buddy. Not today. And then this way. And dodge again. Textbook. Okay, we've got a full AP bar. Let's use it. We'll get some of these crits back. Maybe, if we're lucky. Okay, getting a little bit sloppy towards the end here, but I'm gonna successfully outpath him. Oh, I wasn't ready for that one, were ya? Can't fit through there. Ah, Mysterious Stranger has shown up. He immediately gets absolutely stomped on, but that's fine because that distraction was all I needed to finish the job. I still had plenty of health left after that, but yeah, that wasn't as clean as I thought. I'm gonna try that again, but this time against a target that'll probably die a little bit. And he gave us a relentless chainsaw. Isn't that nice? Okay, maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. So this one's got the reflex sight and just the standard shotgun shells, and I'm still only getting 4 shots. I'd rather not split the damage, to be honest. I'd rather just hit him with this. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Now we're in way better, more optimal range, and we just gotta finish the job. Okay. So what I should have done was go into third person and aim with that because it's like a see-through scope, right? So just gotta keep on hitting him. There we go. Maybe it would have been better to switch over to the scattershot version there just for that extra stagger chance, but what did you have on you? Chameleon, heavy synth, left arm. Lame. Okay, well, that worked out pretty well, but let's do something a little bit more overt and less covert with the sneaking and the stealthy. Okay, time for a good old-fashioned slugging match between me and a bunch of bears. And also getting flashbanged by incendiary rounds. Now, I said I wouldn't be doing stealthy, but I'm gonna try to make this fight as fast as possible by doing that, at least at first. Ooh, those bullets and those incendiary projectiles going everywhere. That's, what, 10 damage per bullet? Okay, we're gonna have to try to take out all the little baby ones first because, yeah, these ones, they're tough and they'll stagger you. The last thing you want is to get staggered by a bunch of bears. Although, what I could do here is work on... Ow. Please stop that. Oh, I'm being bold here. Nope, he's decided to jump for joy. What I could do is run around... Ooh, I got out of AP. Ouchies. And try to get him stuck. And it's a pretty easy thing to do because they lunge forward when they attack and they can't stop themselves from, like, moving at all. Like, he might be stuck right there. And all he can do is offer a intimidating stare as I shoot him in the face. Oh dear, we are in trouble, aren't we? So, check out the 65 that we're hitting him with every time. So, that's what it's like. You can actually see the health bar move, albeit slowly. But if I move over to this one instead, it's 39. I'm confused. I don't get it either. Anyways, let's hit him in the face. Is this the slugging match that I wanted? Probably not. I'll try to get him out just for a little bit. We'll give him a sporting chance. If we can get a nice little nerd rage slow-mo finisher, that would be pretty good. Now, the way to get him out is to allow his pathing to do that. Now, we're primed for Nerd Rage now. We'll make sure we do this on a time where we can get a full magazine into him. So oh, now he's running away. Not cool, bro. Not cool. Now, this is perfect. Add crits into the mix. And then we'll just switch over different weapons instead of doing it again. I think that's the slug one we brought out to finish him off there. And he rolls off down onto the road down below. Very dramatic. Now, what did you have on you that was good? You had a Gauss rifle and a Junkie's Gatling laser. That is actually a good drop. Junkies in Fallout 4 is absolutely mental. I would definitely use that on a Junkies build. Anything with a massive rate of fire and a massive ammo capacity would be brilliant. So, yeah, Junkies on a Gatling laser. You could argue a god roll. Not that we're really interested in that thing weapon now. But anyways, so that there was the Omni Hybrid 410, or the Riveter, as it were. And it's a pretty cool weapon. Would I use this for a daily thing? Probably not. For a weapon for a shotgun role, I think there are weapons that fulfill that role a little bit better, at least for a more traditional role. It sits in this weird spot where it looks like a rifle, it acts like a rifle, but fires like a shotgun. So at medium and long ranges, sure, you sort of can make it work, especially in VATS, but it's not particularly strong in VATS in terms of its AP efficiency. So its strengths are sort of downplayed by weaknesses in the sort of same area, and it feels like it suffers from a little bit of an identity crisis. Does it want to be a rifle? Does it want to be a shotgun? Oh, it wants to be both. So a jack of all trades, master at none, or rather, there's a vertibird flying around. I think that's the same sound that Savage uses for his 30mm cannon. I should probably make that not happen for regular vertibirds. Anyways, I digress. So yeah, it's a weird identity crisis where it wants to be a shotgun and a rifle at the same time, but ends up pulling both roles maybe less effectively than what you'd find at a traditional dedicated shotgun mod. So it sits in a sort of a weird spot. I think I'd much rather have an AR-15 in a rifle form and then have some sort of cool Italian shotgun as your dedicated shotgun. But I think the DPS on this thing is alright. The recoil is... it's a lot, but it's a shotgun. You get in close quarters anyway to make it work. So, just another reason where it doesn't sort of work at close. And vertibird crushing, pretty standard occurrence in Fallout 4. Yeah, it's a... yeah, the shotgun's range that doesn't really sit well with the amount of recoil, because you can't really capitalize on that unless you use VATS. But when you do use VATS, this thing's not super efficient. Yeah, you get the 4 shots with the 3-round burst, at least with my agility stat, but for players with lesser agility, you'll probably find that you struggle with it even more. So there's no real clear strength. It's just kind of okay and average at everything while fulfilling a role for a shotgun and a rifle at the same time. So it's quite an interesting thing, but I'd much rather a dedicated different weapon for a type role rather than something that tries to cover multiple things and spreads itself out too thin to be effective at either task. But that's my thoughts on it. Hopefully that got my thoughts across concisely. Worth downloading if you're interested in seeing this weapon mod in your game, though. I think it does something different, which makes it interesting to take a look at if you are so inclined on getting all of these COD ports, like you're collecting them like Infinity Stones or something. So do check it out. Link will be in the description. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Oh, good. You're still here. You gonna go watch Atomic Widow after this? It gives Winter a completely new look, you understand. She looks like a depressed supermodel. Different body type, so she looks a little bit different to what you're seeing now, but a different take on Winter. So yeah, go check it out. Atomic Widow's channel in the description.